What's up? It is your girl, Pastor Courage Molina. So glad that you are here, Pastor of Bold Faith Community Church. Welcome to TGIW and welcome to my YouTube channel, or it's our YouTube channel, or it's the church's YouTube channel. I'm just used to saying welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm the only one that comes on, so it kind of feels like my YouTube channel. Welcome to the YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, we have church. It's where church is streamed live. And it's also where I come on to teach and share some insight and things to help you become bolder, more confident, and courageous enough to go after the life that God has called you for, to taste your purpose, all the things. And so if you are interested in, learning about life, faith, and business, this is a great channel for you because I believe that, 80%, 70% of us who are people of faith, we've been called to do work outside of the church, outside of the four walls of the church. And for a lot of you, that means the marketplace. And as someone who was a business owner before coming into ministry, I love to share and equip you. Right now, we are in our book series, right? Super excited about that. It's not a book series, it's really an author series because the whole series has been, I guess, kind of about me, sort of, kind of. And about this book that I wrote and published. I self-published this book. Power Principles, Courageous Living, How I Overcame Depression and Took Back My Life, published in 2018. It's an amazing book. Helps to boost your confidence and improve your self-esteem, helps to give you peace in difficult situations. It will equip you and give you the strength and courage to step out on faith and believe God for big things. It will help to improve your relationships and your ability to develop and cultivate new relationships. And it also provides motivation and inspiration for both personal and spiritual growth. It does a lot. I know these 5 power principles that I share in here are amazing. And so today, what are we doing today on this Wednesday? I have decided I'm trying to find this thing that I need to put up here. Okay. If you'd like to get your copy, if you don't have a copy, get your copy. You can get your copy on Amazon. You can also get it wherever books are sold, but you can get a signed copy at couragemelina.org/shop. Get your book. If you've had the book and you've read the book, then I would love for you to drop a review, a 5-star rating and review wherever you purchased it. So if you got it from Amazon, if you're an Amazon person, then I'd love for you to write a review. If you're on Goodreads, I'd love for you to write a review and give us a 5-star rating wherever you purchase the book. You can even give a review on the website. So I've decided to read another chapter that is like what you guys really seem to like. I've gotten a lot of response from that. And I was trying to decide what I would read, right? Like what part would I read? I read something that was just kind of fun and light. But I do want to give you a little insight into some of the more sobering moments. And so I'm going to read from a chapter that is probably one of the least read chapters among my friends and family, my personal, like real life friends and family. This is the chapter that I hear. Well, I didn't read chapter 7, but the rest of the book was really good, because for most of them, they lived through chapter 7 with me, and it was certainly a difficult time. So I'm going to pick up in the middle of chapter 7 or somewhere in the middle of chapter 7. All right. I got the news during spring break. My mama was in town with my nephews. My auntie Hazel called her early that morning. Toucan was gone. I didn't cry. Not right away, anyway. Mike came to me and held me close. I breathed slowly. Inhale, exhale. Then came the tears as I buried my face in his chest. It muffled the sounds of my sobbing. Once the crying stopped, I walked to the kitchen and poured myself a sippy cup full of red wine. I bought the sippy cup a few months ago. It was a great way to drink wine in bed and not spill it. My mom said, "Don't you think it's too early to drink?" And I looked at her and said, "Give a strong drink to him who was ready to perish and to those that be of heavy heart." Proverbs 31:6. God knows I need a drink right now, Joyce. I turned and walked to my room. I could hear the darkness beckoning me to come to bed. Darkness is how my husband refers to my depression. "Don't give in to the darkness," I could hear him saying as I closed the door behind me. I could feel the pull of the darkness, and I had no desire to fight it. I wanted to drown in it. I took a few sips of the wine as I climbed into bed. I pulled the covers over my head to keep the sun out. I wanted my surroundings to match the darkness within. It was all over, and there was nothing else that could be done. No going back. No miraculous healing. No hope. No resurrection. The funeral. There were so many people at my Auntie Hazel's house when I arrived. I didn't want to go in. I wasn't sure if I could be in the room with people and talk about the fact that he was really gone. I didn't want to hear people sharing their favorite memories of him or whispering the same tired cliches when people passed away, like, "He's in a better place," or "He's with the angels now." Like, shut up. You know what I mean? I was consumed by pain, grief, and hopelessness. I wasn't there for a pick me up. I was still trying to deal with his passing. Within a day or so of my arrival, I found myself in a church full of people, all dressed in red and black. The large church was almost filled to capacity, with people standing along the walls as I was being ushered to a pew reserved for family. At the front of the church sat a pristine white casket with the hideous orange and green snapback sitting on top. He was a huge fan of University of Miami. Our family is from Miami. I, however, went to Florida State University. Therefore, I bleed garnet and gold. It was something he often got on my last nerves about. If I hadn't been so overwhelmed with grief, I would have chuckled a little at the sight of it. Mike was by my side, holding my hand and holding me up. I was no more prepared for the gravesite than I was the church. I could not imagine that what I was feeling and seeing was reality. Consciously, I knew it was actually happening, but my mind did not let me digest the full emotional weight of the moment. I'm sure this is some sort of psychological safety net to keep people on the right side of sanity. I was numb. I was emptied of emotion, reason, and hope. All that remained was despair. I'm not sure what is supposed to happen after a funeral. Are we expected to go back to our regularly scheduled program? I couldn't. After we returned home, I refused to go back to my normal life. It was impossible. I just climbed into bed with my sippy cup filled with wine and cried and drank. Mike would come in the room and say, "We need you. You still have a family. You can't die with Toucan. We love you." I didn't want to hear any of that. I just wanted to die. I started praying again. "God, please take me out of this world. This pain is more than I can bear. God, keep my children safe as you let me die in my sleep. God, why do you refuse to let me die? I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to live anymore. Lord, can you at least let me die in my sleep? Lord, don't let my kids find me in the morning." After a while, I realized what I was saying. I was willing to leave my kids without a mother. I prayed more. "God, my kids would be better off without me." What kind of a mother begs to die knowing she has children? I'm a horrible mother, God, and my kids deserve better. Please just let me die. Mike deserves a better wife than me, God. Just let me die and help him find a woman that would be good for him and my kids. Mm. I didn't want to move on. I didn't want to get better. I felt like doing so would be saying I was okay with toucans passing. I would never say that. Never. There was no moving on. I went back to work. I went through the motions of living. But when my workday was over, it was back to my bedroom in the dark. Mm. Why I didn't grab tissue, I have no idea. Okay. Let me try again. I went back to work. I went through the motions of living. But when my workday was over, it was back to my bedroom in the dark with my tears and my wine until the next day. The weight of the grief and sorrow was heavy. It was definitely more than I could bear. I simply could not get up from under the weight of it all. To make matters worse, my grief led to full blown depression. It hurt to get up and move through the day. Every sad thought about Toucan led me down a rabbit hole so deep and dark that there was no light to be found. As I lay at the bottom of the hole, it was cold, damp, and distant from any happiness or hope of it in the future. Things would never get better. How could they? Toucan wasn't coming back, and there was no denying that harsh reality. I didn't have the energy or even the desire to work on my marriage. I was so consumed by the darkness that it was impossible for me to be involved with my kids. I don't know what they were doing during this time. I don't know how they managed. Just kept the same routine of faking it during the day, crying and drinking at night. If I wasn't in my room in my bed under the covers with my sippy cup filled with wine, I wanted to be. The darkness called out to me. It drew me in. Oddly, there was some peace about it. I started to look forward to it. I was alone. I didn't have to pretend like I was over Toucan's passing. I didn't have to take care of anything or anyone. No need for conversation or explaining what or how I was feeling. Just cold, silent darkness. I often thought about dying. Fantasize is probably more accurate. After spending so much time in the darkness, preferring it to real life, death seemed like a prize. What if I could just go to sleep and never get up? It would all be over. I was married to a man who loved me, but didn't seem to be in love with me. And that for me was the real deal breaker. I had kids who deserved a better mother than I had been. I was a drain on my friends who would also be better off without me to worry about. I felt like if I didn't end my own life, then certainly the suffering would take on a persona and kill me. I was never bothered by that idea. I would welcome death anyway, any way, shape, or form that it might manifest. The grief and hopelessness outweighed every perceivable good thing I had in my life. It was like a huge lead blanket suffocating and holding me down. Man. Y'all still with me? I have one paragraph left. We can do it. We can do it. All right. That's the thing with depression. Your mind is so messed up, no matter what your reality is, you can't see it. You can't feel the love people have for you. You can only see and feel the pain. You can't imagine things will get any better, and the thought of living a life in that type of darkness is more than you can bear. Suicide starts to look like a pretty good option. Not only an option, but relief. Depression for me was like an emotional and mental pain from which there was never any relief. It left me feeling completely alone in the world, like everyone I was connected to would be better off without me. Next chapter, sunshine and rain. I know this was like not, the most upbeat TGIW Bible book reading that I could have done. Um, but I think whenever I have an opportunity to share and to encourage and to inspire, or whenever people are looking at me from the outside and it seems like the faith that I have is so foolish, or the way that I talk about God or believe in God is just so crazy. It's because I lived this. Like, I know it's a book, but it is my actual life. I actually live that life. And I'm blessed and fortunate enough to have a very long memory and to be able to tap into how I felt then for just a moment, right? And when I think back to those days, I mean, I just would not be here. I just wouldn't be here without him. Nobody can, this is not like, my faith is, I know people are like, oh, you're very religious. My faith is not my religion. It is my relationship. It is this mud, those few paragraphs that I read don't even begin to scratch the surface of the darkness that consumed me. And I am here crying on this YouTube. Um, I am this pastor, this church planner. I am this entrepreneur. I am this wife in love with her husband. I'm this woman who loves her life because Jesus came and got me. He came and got me out of the depths of that, right? So I can talk about, like, oh, I had a difficult life. But it's that pulling back the curtain of sorts that really helps to give you, real insight into how dark it might have actually been. Even those words don't do it justice, but um, these principles that I'm talking about in this book, right? I should probably read the sad parts more often. Um, because now that I'm thinking about, you know, what it was like for me then, I know that there are women right now who are in the midst of some of their darkest days, are getting ready to enter into some of their darkest days, and these principles could help them. Like, these principles, saved me. They saved me knowing who I am, forgiving myself and forgiving people and forgiving God for the things that I held against him, growing in my faith and putting my faith to work, and building relationships and cultivating healthy relationships and growing as a person. Those things are the things, the practical day-to-day stuff that got me out of the depths of the darkness that threatened to take my life, you know? Um, so much so that I wrote a book about it, right? And so you probably have a story, a testimony, and I want to encourage you, you know, to share the dark, dirty, scary bits. Because the truth is, where you are right now, you definitely do not look like what you have been through. So, I mean, I don't look like what I've been through. Maybe I do right now, clothes, but I don't look like what I've been through. And I'm grateful to God for that. I'm like, I'm such like reading and remembering that I'm such a different person. Like, I love my life. I definitely don't want to die. I definitely don't want to die. I want to live to be 100 and some change in good health. Okay, like that's what I'm on. Um, but just like the Lord has just completely changed and transformed me. It's I mean, it's just an amazing thing. I mean, it's just amazing to be able to see what God can do. You know what I'm saying? Like to know that I came from that to this person. Some of you have only met me on this side. Um, you have no idea what it was like before. You could not even imagine. You have no idea what I was like before, but you've only met me on this side, and this is the side with so much hope and so much faith that it probably gets on your nerves sometimes, but I got it in the mud. The Lord came and got me out the dirt, out the mud, out of the dark pit of depression. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm, the way I am today. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I love y'all. I'm so glad that y'all, for those of you who stuck it out, that did not log off and y'all went back with me through memory lane. Unlike some of these friends and family I got, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are the real VIPs. I appreciate y'all. Um, Listen, to hear like the full story, all of it, you need to get the book, couragemelina.org slash shop. Get the book today. If you have the book and you've read the book and it has blessed you, I would love for you to write a review either on Amazon or on the website. Let people know that it is a worthy purchase. Again, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. But we're not done tonight. Thank goodness, right? I'm not going to leave you on a sad note. This train is going to keep on rolling right on over to A&O as TGIW continues. If you like this video, hit the subscribe, notifications, all of that, and I'll see you in the chat on A&O. All right, love you. Later.